Hi, this is Dave, Dave's Vintage Baseball Cards. This is my contact information. Write this down. I'm going to show it to you again before we stop this video, but you're probably going to need this. I have a feeling that you're watching this video today because you, or somebody you know, has recently acquired a collection. Maybe you inherited a collection, maybe you found one at a swap meet, garage sale, up in an attic somewhere, of old cards, possibly from the 50s or 60s, maybe pre-war, maybe around the turn of the century, or maybe even 19th century cards, cards from the late 1800s. And maybe you found this and they were in a scrapbook. And you're wondering, well, what should I do with these? How do I take care of these cards? I want to show you some examples of some cards, and I'm going to get into the answer to that question in just a moment. But this is an example of a 19th century card, coins of all nations. It's a set of about 50 cards. It's not necessarily an expensive set of cards, and this isn't in that great a condition, although it's not bad. But if you look at the back of this card, you'll see here a little bit of paper loss up there, because this card was in a scrapbook and somebody peeled it out. Now, here's another example of one that's even worse. Nice on the front, because when they're glued into a scrapbook, the cards don't move around, so the corners don't get banged. But when you go ahead and take them out, you lose part of the card. Now, there were different types of glue that were used back then. Some of it was like a cement type of a glue. There was other types of glue that were more like a paste glue, where cards could easily come off, and then the glue residue can easily be removed, but they're not all like that. And until you actually take the cards out of the book, you don't know whether it's a type of adhesive that is really getting into the paper or something that's just barely sticking the cards on. My advice in that type of a situation is, under no circumstance would you want to attempt to remove that card from the book yourself. There are people in the hobby industry that make a living trying to remove cards from albums. We have somebody that we've used in the past. There's certain circumstances, and obviously he won't tell me the process, but he uses a combination of different types of solvents that don't hurt the paper but do dissolve the glue. And in some cases he's successful, other cases he's not. I've had scrapbooks come to me that have 500-600 cards in them. Sometimes they can be salvaged, sometimes they can't. But if you just try to peel these off the pages, you're going to have stuff like this happen. This is from an issue in Venezuela. Looks like a regular 1966 Topps baseball card, but cards were produced in Venezuela back in the 60s and 1959. And actually they were issued with scrapbooks. And so the common way for people to collect cards back then was they would glue them in. And then when somebody gets their hands on them and tries to remove them, you lose a huge chunk of the back of the card. Unfortunately, with these particular issues, the glues that they used down there in Venezuela almost always ruin the cards when they were removed. It's almost impossible to get these out. Here's a common issue. T206s, these were from 1909 to 1911. This is the same set that the famous Honus Wagner card is in. And once again, this is a card that was in a scrapbook. And once again, with the T206s, there's a whole series of different types of glue that could have been used with these particular cards. Some of them can be salvaged and others cannot. But any of them, if they're attempted to take them out incorrectly, can cause a significant damage to the back of the cards. And you can turn a card that, there's cards in this particular set that are worth $500 to $1,000 in nice condition, and if you do this to it, you can turn it into a $30, $40, $50 card, and the commons like this are worth almost nothing when the back is damaged like that. Here's another example of one, once again, back damage. So, to summarize, if you find a collection that's in a scrapbook, cards are glued in or affixed to anything, don't try to remove them yourself. Try to find an expert. You can call me. I always love discussing collections. We can give you a lot of feedback. This is my contact information. If you want to write down that phone number and email address, you can come and visit us. And we probably can help you with your collection. In certain circumstances, depending upon what you have. If it's something you want to sell to us, we will buy it. If it's something that you're not comfortable outright selling it, but you want help selling it, You can consign it to us. We will go ahead and send it out, get the cards removed from the album so we can get top dollar for them, and we'll sell them for you on consignment. But in either case, it's always a good idea to discuss your options and make sure you're careful when it comes to taking care of these cards that are in albums, and don't act too quickly. Anyway, we're waiting for you here at Dave's. You've got my phone number and my contact information. There it is. Hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.